Aloha and Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. And I'm Lama Tashi. We do this Thursday night session 6 to 8 every week, and it is recorded and put on our website for people that live in the opposite side of the planet, different time zones, so that you can watch it at your leisure. Tonight, in the Tibetan tradition, I'm going to make a couple of what we call stretches. And what I mean is we're using our mind to train the mind, which is, in Buddhism, it's a different way, it's a different approach. And when you do that, you must understand that your mind has two natures. It has what we call the Drami mind or monkey mind that is completely infatuated with everything out here and emotionally reacting with all of that through their senses and through their thoughts. And that distorts everything that you're sensing and causes an emotional distortion in your thinking. And that leads to what we call pain and suffering. That's the direct way that we produce pain and suffering. The other nature of your mind is free of that. And it's inherent in your consciousness. All so-called sentient beings, which means humans and animals, which take birth on planets, and spirits, which appear everywhere in everything, are sentient beings. And this is our state of existence. So what we want to do is to take the drama mind and tame it, like you would an animal, like a dog or a cat or whatever. You want to make a pet on it. you want to discipline it. But you want to turn it away from its wandering nature, its wildness, its undisciplined. And in doing so, you want to directly aim it or mix it or merge it with this other nature of your consciousness, which exists without judgment. And that doesn't compute. So we just lost everything. But that part of your mind which doesn't compute is your true nature, and it is in total harmony with the universe around you, this world, this planet we live on. And out as far as you want to think about it, or going the other way, as small as you want to think about it, we call particleization. So that's what Tibetan Buddhism is. And it is called shamanistic Lamaism. And all the lamas, men and women, which today are everywhere, they're around the planet, you can find them almost everywhere, they all have this same skill, this same program. And it's very simply based on the mother principle of loving kindness and compassion, not only for ourselves, but also for all the critters around us, or maybe inside of us, because we have hundreds of thousands of animals living in our body, parasites, so forth, in your eyebrows and hairs everywhere. But in any case, taking those into consideration is the basis of the practice, and it is called loving kindness. It is called concern for the well-being of others because they have more pain and suffering than you do, if you think that. Okay? If you just think that way. And that, we have living examples, about maybe 4 billion of them. They're called women. And these women are very specialized in that they are in charge of bringing us guys and everybody onto this planet, into this world. They create out of the elements our body. Da-da, here you are. Well, using that same program, we kind of want to be, regardless of our sex, in that same kind of mind frame. That we are interested in the well-being of others because they have more suffering than the I-me mind than I do, for instance. That's the way I think. I've been trained to do that. It's a learned thing. But mothers don't usually learn this. They just have it in their nature to be that way, and they have some kind of intuitive awareness that helps them to accomplish that. And the men, not so much. So we are kind of two different kind of animals on the same planet. But we have to coexist, and without the guys, you can't have us humans, because they have to interact with the mothers. But what are we doing with this? We, and that's the key word, we know that everything that we sense or think about, everything that we see in this entire universe, all of that is totally integrated into your physical body. All of it. It's all your life support. So everything that you have on this planet comes from somewhere else. For instance, this atmosphere, this water, the planet itself, the earth, the air we breathe, everything comes from someplace else. And eventually, of course, it will go back someplace else. So we have this energy program that supports us, but there's a problem with it for us because we're so fixed-minded. You know, we think my way is the right way, me, mine. But this energy program that we're involved with, every moment, it is changing. Every moment. Every atom in this universe, interconnected with every other particle or atom in the universe, at any given instant is in a state of massive change. And why do we want to know that? Is because we are not going along with that program. We have this idea of solid, fixed, and permanent based on religious connotations or political whatever or something, some size sociological structure that causes us to think that. And so we put that into our religions. For instance, we say, if you follow to this God and you go to that God, goddess in heaven, it's forever. Well, the universe doesn't work that way. Our mind doesn't work that way. That's a nice concept, but that's not the way it works. For instance, your mind is always changing. Your body, every 7 years, gets a whole new set of cells, so it's always changing. But to go along with those two, the world around you is changing. And right now it's changing at an extremely fast rate on this planet. And it's because of us. This we thing has turned into 8 billion we. That's a lot of human. That's a lot of energy. And in the process, we, humans, have evolved into what we call civilized, which is an oxymoron. Because all you have to do is turn on the news or talk to the policeman when you're beat. That we're probably the most uncivilized ever existed. Okay? And then they have another one they call, I won't go there. So here we are with this program. Now, what do you do when you want to be in charge of your mind? Well, first of all, you've got to make an affirmation or some kind of a commitment to yourself that you want to do that. Okay, that's number one. So, help's on the way. Then, if you say that out loud, that you need help, and you would welcome any kind of assistance that you can get, well, then the spirits can hear that. They can see into our world. We can't. Most of us can't see into there. But they hear that. Okay, so that's part of our program. We tell them we're interested in your well-being. But you have to be tactful about it. And you need to have a support group of somebody else that's already been doing exactly that. So you need a tradition. And the tradition has to be available. So in this shamanistic Lamaism, we have a tradition. It goes back to 2,600 years to India to a character called Shakyamuni Buddha. Over time, it's come all the way through India, up in the Himalayan countries, all the way to Afghanistan, all the way to Mongolia, Tibet. But now, thanks to the Chinese takeover of Tibet, this shamanistic tradition is everywhere for whatever purpose. But what we are doing is not only traditional, but it's the same method that's been going on for 2,600 years. Actually, before that, but let's just keep it into our time frame. And when you do these practices, you are hooking into a grid that's going on 24/7 all over the planet of people doing exactly the same thing you are. It's like the web. Only this is a human web. And since there's no such thing as separation, it's effective. Because you're integrating your talent, your intelligence, your karma with all of those other humans that are doing this weird stuff. And the key word is Sha-womanism. Okay, why do I say that? It's because the women, before this industrial age, and the few still operating, luckily, were the ones that knew what was going on. They could say, well, you eat that plant because it'll do this and this and this, but not that one. That one you want to build your house with. Oh, you want to do this place because it's blah, blah, blah safe, but not over there because it's not safe. Oh, you want to have your kids here under this kind of supervision and not over. So the women intuitively were running the show, and the guys were their protectors. Okay, and did sometimes the grunt work, but in modern day, the women do everything. So anyway, to make a point, since there's this grid in place, and since we have this worldwide situation, we can affect a change in this outer program. That's what we're all doing anyway. Okay, that's how we invented the computer, the telephone, the TV, all our screens. But the most important screen is your own mind. And it is a visual screen. And how is it visual? Because you use your imagination to accomplish what you want to do. You have to see a picture. And what we do with shamanistic practices is we color code the picture because to make it pretty, just like we're not doing black and white on our computer, are we? Nice, colorful. Well, the mind is the same way. But in order to make this inner computer function effectively, you have to be able to focus. That's what meditation is about. But there's another aspect of the meditation where you have to also be able to relax and contemplate. Nothing whatsoever. You got to be able to contemplate what is going on with the elemental nature. For instance, space. What is going on with space? Did you ever contemplate just space? You ever lay down and look at the sky at night and just contemplate sky? For daytime, look up there between the clouds, all that blue, with only one star. It talks to you if you contemplate. If you just lay back and relax, your mind kind of loses its drama hold. And this energy program that's universal all around you starts to vibrate. And it vibrates with sound that you can hear. And it messes with your brain in such a way that it causes these little glandular things in here to secrete hormones through your body that are nice, healthy. Now, how do we apply this to us? Well, all of us are the same, but all of us are different. And when I say that, I mean we appear different. We all do different things, we act different, but internally we're all basically the same. And so, since we're all basically the same, we have this interest going on that causes us to collect together. Okay? And causes us to cooperate is the best word. And of course, there's a lot of discordant energy programs going on among humans on the planet. But generally speaking, we're pretty, especially here in Hawaii, we're pretty harmonious. And nice too, because the weather's harmonious. You know, we're not experiencing like 110, 120 degrees like we're doing on the mainland. Our tide only moves a little foot and a half, that's it. And we have this gentle breeze of the trades, and so forth. Generally speaking, harmonious. This harmony in Tibetan Buddhism, which is this shamanism we're talking about, has 3 levels. They're called vehicles. And why do we have this going on is because we're all different. And so we have some humans that have this karmic propensity, I call them tendencies, to be, if they're at all interested in being a person who trains their mind with their mind, which is what we're talking about, then most of the beings fall into what we call the Hinayana. I'm doing this for me, up here, I, me, mine. Okay? I want to be perfect. I want to be the best. I want to, whatever. Bottom line, money. I want to have money. Well, lots of it. And healthy. Well, that's the first level. And that is what attracts most people to Buddhism in the first place. Okay? And we have Buddhism all over the planet, but we don't have shamanistic Buddhism all over. So there's different forms of this Buddhist stuff. Keeping in mind the word Buddha just means a mature human being. That's what these statues symbolize. Then the second level of this practice of being a shaman is to bring everybody into your practice intentionally. And you start with your mother and your father and your friends and your lovers and your dog and your cat. And, you know, after a while, you got a lot of beings that you're doing this for. And after a while, you get more and more altruistic about it, and you start to include all the humans on the planet, which is a stretch. Because that's 8 billion. That's a lot of us's. That's a lot of we. But all I did is take the letter me and turn the M upside down and make it a W and make it a we. Okay, so that's the second vehicle of shamanism. And it simply means that you're interested in the well-being of 8 billion humans. Why? Why would one want to do that? Well, for 2 reasons. One, it changes your mind. You start to discipline an unruly mind, i.e. mindness, which doesn't work at all, just causes more pain and suffering, to this we thing because it feels better. It changes the hormonal way your brain functions to send all this glandular goody-goodies through your body. I mean, don't you ever, sometimes you get goosebumps? See, that's the brain. Brain runs everything. So the we is an important step. That's the second level of shamanistic practice. But we don't stop with just the humans. We have to include the animals because they're part of our life support. And the spirits. Now we're stepping into unknown territory because we shamans know that the cause of disruptions on this planet today is causing the spirit world to attack us. We know that. Just turn on the news. I mean, 115 degrees in Chicago, how many people? Let's not go there. So if you know that, then you start to include these spirit characters as part of the we program. And of course the animals. And everything you have, somebody else made, including your boss. So that's a we game right there. So it's not a big. Now we're going to go to the third level or vehicle of this shamanistic practice. And this one requires power. Okay, so the first one is the I, me, mine. We're going to start with that. It's all about getting you in a good situation where you can go to the next level of the we program. Then you get the we program working and you find out you get good results of that. Then you go to this third level of the program. Now the third level of the program is also the first 2, keeping yourself in the movie as being part of it, and everybody else is connected to you as part of it, including the natural world around you. But the third one is called the shortcut. Why? Because the first way of being goes on and on and on, and you don't see any end in sight. Like we say, thousands of lifetimes. That's called the Hinayana. Okay? And that's most of the religions, including Buddhism on the planet. The second one, the Mahayana, now you're taking everything and everyone into consideration as part of your practice of mind training mind. The third one is the mind doesn't exist. Oh. So here you went and spent all this time, thousand lifetimes doing the Hinayana one, you got your mind disciplined. Then you threw in the we program, and now the discipline is including everybody else, and that seems to be doing pretty good. Like you're less and less suffering, and you're getting what you want. It's called the wish-fulfilling jewel. And then a character like me comes along and says, well, if you want to be a shaman, you got to understand eventually you don't need the mind. But you got to keep your sense of humor about it. Because all these other ones around you think they have the mind. And you just can't go around and tell them there's no such thing as mind. Because they got a grip on it. Mind. But this other factor is the truth. And it's called the ultimate truth. Up to that point, everything is relatively true. And your relatives are all the we, all the animals, the humans, and spirits are all your relatives. Because you were all once the lovers, mothers, whatever, thousands of lifetimes. But here you are, all in this situation, on a planet that's going berserk. And so when you go into the mind, you can't find it. You can't find it. You can find the thoughts, and you can find where the thoughts come from, which is like space. And if you follow your thoughts, they disappear back into that space. And so that's why I say the mind doesn't exist, because in its reality, it's nothing but space and light, functioning together with all the energy that the mind creates, which is this world, this universe. And as the Dalai Lama, my teacher, pointed out, your thoughts create your world. Your thoughts create your world. Your thoughts create your world. Your thoughts create your world, and so forth. And welcome to it. But if you start saying we, then the word your starts to lose its meaning. Okay? Because the we is like what mothers are for their own only child, unconditional about this. Now, if you're going to lose your mind, you're going to lose it in a nice way, you know. If you're going to go into this so-called voidness of intelligence, you want to be able to be still loving, kind, and considerate. You want to still be in the human condition on some planet, somewhere, the big universe. And you want to know why you're doing this. You want to be intelligent about this. You want us to make sense. Because that's who we are. We're sensual. We're not only intelligent, we're sensual. That's why we're overpopulated. Too much sensual, undisciplined sensual. See? It's not working. And you just can't go out there and tell 4 billion mothers that they're out to lunch. You can't do that. They'll mob you. Which might be nice. Hi, Mom. So this third level, this third vehicle is called Vajrayana or Tantra, which is a misnomer in Western society. If you mention Tantra, everybody, if you watch the web, Tantric sects, which is nice because it's all about merging, you know. But it isn't just about that. It's about discipline. It's about being kind and considerate, having compassion, and insight and knowledge how to use your power to accomplish what you want to accomplish. I'm a gardener, I'm a farmer. That's why I came to Hawaii. So I live in this house, which is surrounded by fruit trees, and we just planted a bunch of, Abby brought home a bunch of tomato plants, so we redid the garden back. Now they're out there. We have a garden. Okay, so that's part of the program, working with nature. But this part of your mind that we say doesn't exist is the way the universe functions. You know, you can say God created, God says this and all that. Those are great concepts. But they only take you so far, and then you find out that there's something else. And I've been there, done that. So here we are. In this other nature of your mind, it is infinitely potentially creative. In other words, you've entered into no limit situation. Up to that point, you were kind of constricted. You were defining, you were using concepts. Changing from I to we is changing your conceptual mind. Then you use the conceptual mind to enter this other nature of the mind, which exists simultaneously because that's the nature of the universe. And it's not supernatural. It can't do that. The world doesn't work that way. There's no such thing as divine, except for my old girlfriend who projected that. Supernatural. Okay, no. Natural, yes. So this other nature of your mind is in harmony 100% with the natural world around you and the beings in it, but also it's tapping into no restriction. whatever is appropriate will manifest. Now, if it shoots up out of my hand, it's going to be scary. So I'm not going to do that. But they do have magicians. They can put their hand out like this and come in, whoop, here. Yeah, that's tricks. Well, you got to trick your mind. Then you can do the trick. You go to India, you see all kinds of tricks. But this infinite potential produces what is absolutely necessary, not only for your situation, but everybody you're involved in. This is like a shared reality. Yes, you can keep it inside and say, it's my idea. But sooner or later, you're going to have to let it out. Because that gets boring. You know, the Dalai Lama, he's always going like this. What's he doing? He's pointing to the sky. But he's also saying that this is a universe. It's a one nature program. The universe has one nature. And everything in this universe is natural. And it's functioning perfectly. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here on this planet. And this planet itself is going to be here for a long time. Maybe we won't be, but it will still be here. And the spirits that live on this planet will be here for a long time. They've been here for a long time. And all those spirits were once human. Were once your boyfriend, girlfriend, father, dog. You don't get that. No, but they will be again. They will be again. So you gotta be good with them. Be nice to them. You don't have to believe this. This is not a faith-based tradition. What you do is you put it into practice. So we're going to do that. You got to start someplace. But I just explained the 3 levels. There's nothing beyond that 3rd level. When the mind disappears, believe me, it's a whole new program. And it is really tricky. Ask the hippie. Okay, so here we go. At the top of this page, this is called Taking Refuge with Your Mind. This is the way we start. In order to attain enlightenment for ourselves and limitless sentient beings, our mother, we now all together take refuge and offer prostration. We go for refuge to all glorious holy mamas. We go for refuge to all their hidams, which are deities gathered in the knowledge. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who conquer the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all those noble Sanghas. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis who are the protectors and defenders of Dharma, all of which possess the eye of transcending awareness. To the Buddha, Dharma, and this supreme assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit gained from practicing the 6 perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Okay, so the question arises. Well, you say this 111,000 times. Why do we put this English, Canadian, Australian language into Sanskrit? Why do Buddhists do that? Everywhere you go, they're you go to China, they're talking Sanskrit. Why don't you talk Chinese? Oh, because in Sanskrit is how you do this wisdom stuff. This is how you be a shaman. Oh. But it's also how you communicate to the spirits, and it's also how you communicate to all the different cultures on the planet. Now, there is no more culture weirder than our culture. Okay, if you want to say our, we. Okay, we're the weirdest. Yeah. And when you go to Canada, they'll be the first to tell you. I just came from Canada. Let me know. Hey, Hank, go home. No, they were nice. Now, so when we chant this, and say it in Sanskrit, we're not only crossing a culture with wisdom information, because the words in the nature of your mind are not in our language. They're not in English. Like Sangha is not in English. Dharma, which means wisdom, is not in English. That doesn't translate. But we want it to translate. But at the same time, we want the spirits to know what we're doing, because they've been hearing this for thousands of years. So I'm going to say this top one, which is called the altruistic motivation, which starts the we program only. I'm going to chant it to the spirits. This is what the Hawaiians do with their chants. Okay, I learned American Indian chants, and I learned all kinds of chants. But this one goes like this. Da dang jo wa nam ke da dang yang ke seven chen dang che yu di ne yun che chi si zheng ju neng po la chi di bar du. Now we'll all do the second one, which is the refuge prayer and the Bodhisattva prayer. Alde mama dampa nama chaksu chiyo yeda choko ilaso nama chaksu chiyo sanje shondende nama chaksu chiyo dande chur nama chaksu chiyo Ave Gandum Nama Chaksu Shio Kau Kandro Chocho Some Cho Yeshe Ishendam Dempa Nama Chaksu Shio Sanjay Jodan Jopi Chokama Jansu Padu Dagi Chaksu Shi Dagi Jinso Jipe Sonam Ki Joa Tenchu Sage Yupaso. Hear that? They're saying, yeah, go for it. But you just let them know that you're interested in their well-being. That's a step in the right direction. This chant, all the spirits know. It doesn't matter if they died from this human condition and went into the spirit world a minute ago. They've been there before. And in the spirit world, this works. Okay, that doesn't mean that Hawaiian chants don't work. That doesn't mean the American Indians chants don't work. They work. But this one works better because it comes from the heart and not the head. It's unconditional. You're not really saying, I'm going to give you love if you give me something back. That's called conditional love, and that works. That's the way we've been operating. But in this day and age, we are in the process of maturing as a race. And so we need to put the mother principle into place of unconditional love. That we notice that there's some problem and we want to, we're helping. And we do not expect anything back. They never heard that one before. That's why it's a can better. Okay? And it works because I'm a farmer, gardener, and I'm growing human beings, not black beings, human beings. And it works. I'm a lazy guy. I was born a rich spoiled brat kid from a doctor, father, and a mother who's a nurse. So here I am, right? And I want the best of everything, and I want to get it without doing anything. I'm entitled, okay? Which is a great word in modern day. Everybody thinks, well, since I'm born in America, which is what your word we used in the 60s, America, I'm entitled to whatever I want. Oh, yeah? Okay, there's the door. That's what my mom told me. We're giving you back to the Indian. And they did. But in any case, it ain't that way. You're not entitled. Okay? You have to earn it. You have to do something to get something. It's called karma. Believe in karma, not believe in karma. Everything you say, think, and do has a result. And in Hawaii, what goes around comes around. It's really fast because we live on these islands and the energy is like that. You know, these hurricanes come down, they dance around our island. We want to make sure they keep dancing and keep going. That's shamanism. Okay? When's the last time you saw a hurricane? 32, 92. Right? That's a long time ago. In Iki. I saw Eva too. Okay. And Eva killed a bunch of people. I had to pull one out from under his house. It wasn't fun. In a hurricane? That's brutal. Point being, if the spirits control the weather and everything else, why don't we bring them onto our side? Now there is the gist for a screen. I mean, they got one called Zoo where all the animals on the planet are mentioned, are turning. Why don't we do one with the spirit? Okay, because we mapped out the spirit world. We know how many heavens there are. We know how many hells there are. We know how many hungry ghost realms there are. We know how many war god and goddess realms there are. We call them. We know how many animals and humans there are. Give or take a few decimal points. But we should make a movie. And we would be rich. And we are. Now let me show you how. Let me show you the script. It's called Monlong. It means it's therapeutic. In this book, every kind of wish you could possibly imagine, on any level that you exist, okay, it happened to you individually, and everybody around you who you have karma. So I went to Canada, I was invited up there, to a North American Monlong. So all our shamanistic lamas, men and women, gravitate up to Richmond, which is across the river from Vancouver. And we sit there for 5 days chanting in Sanskrit what's in this book. And we started every morning at 6 in the morning, and then there's a little break, and then 8 o'clock we actually start doing the actual practice. And I'm sitting in a room with, across the front are all these monks, lamas from everywhere, all up there in the gold. And since I'm a monk, I don't do that. Because I'm not a monk. I used to be. I sit in the back. The nuns, they can't be up there, so they sit in the back with me. Hi, girl. And in front of me was a huge wall of brunettes. Row after row after row of Chinese, most of them over 6 foot, not one of them obese, chanting what's in this book. And they run that center. They're the ones that set this program. Okay, now that's an oxymoron because Chinese is the one that caused the Tibetan shaman to all leave. They took over Tibet. They put their system in. Well, they weren't nice about it, so the lamas left. Here they are. Well, I'm not one of them. Now, here, imagine 150, 200 Chinese women performing this monlam in Sanskrit with all those monks right in front of them. Okay? And a few of us around beside that. And outside, there were so many people came that they had to set up rows and rows of chairs and put up big screens so they could, people outside could see what was going on inside, which was absolutely nothing. All it was a bunch of people sitting there going, it's like we just did. But I want to tell you, the energy, you can feel it for miles. And I got close to that place every morning with my hair started back. I walked in there, and I love women. And it was perfectly all right for me to see hundreds of brunettes doing the same thing. You can take that as a compliment.
No, I understand why are these 6 feet tall Chinese and tall?
Why?
I don't understand how they
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. I never thought of Chinese as being tall. Why are they all 6 feet tall?
I don't know. I never seen such a thing in my life.
Amazonian.
What part of China did they come from?
Usually
Mongols.
small. I only know small
Every single one of
Chinese.
them was wearing white. I could talk about regimented. And their shoes are, yeah, and their dresses were down to their knees, which shows some respect. But they're wearing, and they all sat on the floor on cushions, shoulder to shoulder. For 2 hours, 3 hours, they didn't move. They sat there and chanted just like we were. I had to sit in the chair. I can't do that. I'm 81. My knees would lock up in a moment.
When I saw the Karmapa in New York, half the people there were Chinese.
In
And I was-
Honolulu, they're all Vietnamese.
And I was so impressed by them. They knew every
Everything.
single word of every prayer, every hand gesture, everything.
You know, look, every page is marked, right?
Amazing.
Got English and Tibetan. Well, I want to know the English. I want to know how to chant. So blah, 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 I'm reading the Sanskrit, chanting like everybody else. But at the same time, I'm trying to get to what it means. It's right under it. Well, I lose my place. Well, either one of the nuns would hit me, but I finally got this Chinese usherette. Would you come over and tell me what, every time they call out the number of the page, would you come over and make sure I got the right thing? She said, sure. Because I wanted to, and I said, if I go like this, that means I lost my place. You watch it.
She took care of you.
Yeah, and the nuns on either side too. Hey, guy. That's cool. Okay, so now next weekend, I'm going to go to another monlam in Silent Lake, in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And it's out in the middle of the desert. It's 110 degrees in the shade. I'm sure it'll be air conditioned. Why? Because it's the only game in town and the women are playing it. You know, they invited me to come there, yes. I got a letter to come to this North American Shankla. Shankla. Now, Shankla is the old way of Tibet, which was the shaman tradition before the Buddhist influence came up from India,
Bonpo.
called the Bon Po. Okay, now they've been doing their way of healing for thousands and thousands of years, 5,000 to 10,000 years. It used to be Tai Chi Quan in China, which is thousands and thousands of years old. Okay, and so now we're going to have our lineage, which is based on the old way in America, in Santa Fe. And it just so happens that I've been there. I've been to Taos, I've been to Santa Fe. I did a retreat in the high desert in Tucson, Indian style, in a teepee, almost killed me. The weather. came back with pneumonia. But anyway, it's karma. But I know that that will change, have a great effect on what's going on in the mainland of the United States. It's already started to change what's going on in Canada. Do you know that Canada is out of business? Their oil shale, their natural gas, bankrupt. Totally. They want to put a pipeline all the way to the west coast to Vancouver. Not going to happen. They want to put a pipeline down through the United States to New Orleans. Not going to happen. Bankrupt. Why? Because all the tribes of Canada got together. All the Indians, Eskimos. You cannot do this. You're not going to. And they've been running their program for a long time. So now when we do these practices, all the wishes are in this book. But we don't have time to read it. Tap into that infinite amount of good karma stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to learn to breathe and draw the energy of that infinite potential, which is the environment around it, into our body and juice up our little meaty brain. And whatever happens comes from here. Just like the mother for the only child. Unconditional. Expect nothing back. Don't be attached to the practice, because it's only a practice. Don't be attached to the result. Or try not to be. Even though there's a whole book. Just do it. Okay? Now, to start with, it's nice to be sitting because you're more relaxed. Either on a cushion or on a chair like me. And your back is straight because the energy centers running from your brain flow through the center of your body and then span out in every direction. You want your hands on your knees or in your lap. Mouth closed to start with. Breathe through your nose if possible. Have your head a little bit tilted forward so that the inner centers is lined up with the throat, the heart, the navel, and the sac. And bring your focus, your awareness of what's right in front of your eye. Air. So right here is a state of infinite potential, right in front of your eye. So keep your eyes open, but don't stare at the air. Just kind of relax your gaze. Let the light, space energy come in through your vision. Then focusing on your breath, as you inhale, imagine the air that you're taking in as white light filling your lungs. The middle breath is the absorption of that energy through your body. You visualize that transference taking place as red light flashing through every cell in your body. And the third breath is your exhale. You imagine the first two come together to form a powerful healing breath out your nose as blue light to space. You don't have to define where it goes. It just goes everywhere, like space. Inhale white light, fill your lungs. The energy of that is red light through every cell in your body. And the result of these two together is the blue light you visualize exhaling out your nose to space. All the lamas teach this pranayama practice. Prana means energy, yana means vehicle. And it's simply the life force energy of what keeps you alive and healthy. Now, to increase the power of this energy force you are dealing with, your life support, understand that everything vibrates. Everything produces a sound. And these three, the inhale, the white light, is for your power. It's a power source. The red light through your body is the energy of that power working. And producing that as a healing breath out your nose is your mind. Functioning universally, unconditionally. And so that home, or that blue, has a vibratory sound, and it simply means good health. Physical, mental, emotional, good health. So now we're going to do the same three lights breathing, but we're going to add the sound of each breath to add more power to the effect. So as before, you inhale the air coming in with all the elements in it, this white light into your lungs, and you invent the sound Om. You hear it. As you inhale, you hear Om. With the absorption breath of the red light energy, you hear the sound of energy as Ah. And these two together produce the blue light out the nose with the healing breath, and the sound is Hum. H-U-N-G or H-U-M. Hum. Now before we actually do this three lights with this three sound, say the three sounds. First we'll say the Om. Inhale. You can chant it. Inhale. Om. Now we're going to get a feeling for energy with the sound Ah. Inhale. Ah. And then the holistic healing breath, the blue light, exhale out the nose. Om. Inhale. Om. Now we're going to bring the actual and the imagined together by practicing this breath, this technique. Inhale white light, fill your lungs, hear the sound Om. The energy passing through your body, you hear the sound Ah, red light, like a flash. The two together out the nose is the blue light to space. Hear the sound, boom. You are training you. This practice can be done anywhere, anytime, night or day, in a natural setting or in your car, whatever. Any question? I love to do that. Any questions? It is one of the most powerful things you can do. And if you're about to die, which we all are, we're all terminal, goes with the program. But everything's impermanent. That's the way the universe works. It makes it, takes it away. So we go along with that program. It's good because we get to recycle. Believe, not believe. Yeah. Next time I'm going to be a beautiful Chinese brunette.
6 feet.
Anyway, it's a thought. So when you do this practice, Om Ah Hum, you must understand what it is doing. These three sounds are three energy fields that exist in nature and in your consciousness. Actually in your body, because the brain causes secretions of whatever thoughts you are to go through your body. And you know that. You can feel it. Get angry, you can feel the adrenaline. You know it. So the Om is an energy field of light itself, which applied to the mind means the clarity of thoughts. This is what's producing the thoughts of the mind, is this Om sound, okay? But it also is connecting to the vibratory sound of everything. That's why Hindus do it a lot. You go to their yoga class and the little kids sitting there, Om. You have the fingers like this. It works. Settles those kids down, The alternative to their screams and probably got in your back pocket. But it works. The ah, which is the first sound of most languages, is the energy functioning, doing something. And in this case, that ah is for your body. So you're with me? So that Om is really for the mind. That's the clarity part. Light energy, clean up the fuzzy thinking, the dark thinking. The ah is to get your body. Here I'm 81, but I'm 16. It's just the concept. Don't get you up to here. And the Hum is your mind taking those two supports and projecting, which is what you do anyway with your mind. You're taking in all this sensual stuff and everybody's trips that they're laying on you, the spirits, the animals, and the humans are all laying their trip on you. And you put it back out there. But you put it out with your eyes slant. My way is better than anybody's way. And if you're a shaman, you got to be really careful about that. Because there's shamans out there that are the ultimate of the ultimate shaman. Okay? And there's nothing beyond their way. But we won't go there. We want to keep it simple. No. This is not a big grandiose scheme to be a winner all the time. But this is bringing your body, your speech, and your mind into the same place with your breath. That's why all the lamas teach this Om Ahum stuff. The Om is a state of clarity, the Ah is the energy functioning using that program, and the result is healing on all levels, physical, mental, emotional, and because you're projecting it out, spiritual. And the word spiritual comes from spirit. So this spirits program is the most important because they are running the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not. We're making a very bad situation worse at all levels of our social program. Worldwide. And it's a fact. Okay? You don't have to, I'm not making this up. Okay. Does that mean we're doomed? Well, I'd rather think no. Because I know there's planets out there with jillions of brunettes. Sorry, Abby. I prefer blondes. Now, if your body, speech, and mind is in the same place, that's a very, very powerful format to accomplish what you want. And you have to do it in any program where power is the essence of the program. And I'm talking about martial art or defensive art. And anytime you enter into any of those programs, the first thing they want you to do is learn to breathe. Okay, because all of the power and energy is from the breath, and it keeps you present. And if you get this, after a while, time kind of changes. You've all experienced this maybe, well, in dreams, of course, but in the waking state, where everything seems to go into slow motion. It's called the zone, you know? And you can experience it anyway. Connecting to nature is usually the way most people, but running. If you run long distance, after a while you move into the zone. And all of a sudden everything, you're moving. And everything else, weird as that. Okay? Okay, how is that useful in Tai Chi, the martial art? Because your opponent slows down. You might, everybody else look like the fan going on really fast. But you see everything in slow motion. So you see him coming this way. So what you simply do, keep him right on. That's how Tai Chi works. It's like all this slow motion. But all those are just moves to keep whatever is coming your way moving where it wants to go. You're doing this with your mind, with this Om Ahum. But more importantly, you must understand that those three dimensions of beings are your other nature of your mind. They're the non-judgmental nature I've been talking about. They're the no-mind program. And all of the transmissions of this shamanistic weird stuff of Tibetan Buddhism is transmitted through those three sounds, Om, Ah, and Hum. So people, when I go to Vancouver, they say, oh, Lama, would you give us an empowerment? Oh, I said, well, sure. What do you want? We want to learn Chenrezig and the mantra and everything. I said, yeah, sure. Breathe. So we do this Om Ahum thing. Now we're going to do the Chenrezig. Chenrezig is that forearm. Actually, it's this 1,000-arm one. But we got to make it simple. So we're going to go to that white one up there in the middle. Now what this is to train your mind that everything that you are sensing is illusory. It's like going to the movies with the glasses and the stuff coming out of the screen, you have to duck, right? That's what this is going to teach you. But it's going to teach you the second level of we stuff. We call the mind. It's going to slowly edge you out of the IV mind trick into more of the we're all together program. Okay? Because that's absolutely necessary. You know, that's what politicians do. They're kind of tricky. They know stuff. They're very smart. So here we go. Hands on the knee. Back straight, eyes open. Let that energy of the light and space in front of your eyes, the elements come into your eye. Do the three lights breathing with the Om Ahom. Inhale white light, your Om. Absorption breath through your body, red light, Ah. Exhale out the nose, the healing breath of blue light to space, Om. Now in front of you is the support of this shamanistic training, the Lama. And the Lama only teaches what the Lama is practicing. So we're going to do this practice of the Chenrezig, which simply means how to bring power, compassion, and insight into your body, speech, and mind. To do that, the Lama in front changes into this 3D picture of this symbolic symbol called Chenrezig. He is male aspect, which is all about method. He is young and healthy and smiling. He wears silks of 5 colors and 6 kinds of jewels, indicating his qualities. His right hand holds a lotus, which symbolizes the compassion of Mahayana we vehicle, and the left hand holds a mala or a dorje, symbolizing the tantric approach of voidness. Besides that, he has 2 hands together in front of his heart chakra, so that all of his energy is coming from the heart mind outward. He's pointing these fingers outward. And it's for everybody else. Because there's no such thing as separation, of course, all inclusive. Now, what does this deity teach you? You replace your ordinary body, which you think is pretty much solid and going to be around for a long time, to disappear. Erase your concept of the body. In its place, put this holographic symbol of a mature, healthy bodhisattva, somebody who is interested in reaching maturity this life. And when you change into this holographic body, you're doing it with 3D, and you're using it with your imagination. Now, how did this body come to be is because the Lama is practicing this particular yoga, this deity yoga, and all the Lamas of the shamanistic tradition worldwide are doing this all the time. And to receive the transmission, you see white light from the Lama in front as this spiritual symbol coming into your head with the sound Om. Visualize them. Then from the Lama's throat, red light is coming into your throat with the sound Ah. And from the Lama's heart chakra, blue light is coming into your heart chakra the wisdom healing light with the sound Om. When you can see all three lights shining simultaneously into your three places, bring the Lama as that deity into you. It's like water into water. So this image of the Lama as Chenrezig disappears into you. You become Chenrezig, which is the practice. The three lights are in the center of your head, throat, and heart. So you got a white Om in the center of your head, a red Ah in your throat, and a blue Hung in your heart center. To make this work, bring those three lights together. So you bring the white light down the central channel of your body into the red light in your throat, and then those two together into the blue Hung light in your heart center. Now you have three energy programs and your body, speech, and mind all in one place. That's the empowerment. Then visualize your mother who created you out of the elements sitting in front of you as this symbol. 3D. Then you project this symbol to your father and all your relatives, friends, and lovers, animals, pets, enemies, everybody you have karma with this life. So you start to grow in your mind this symbol for these sentient beings. Then you project it to the whole human race, 8 billion humans. Then you project it to all the animals in the ocean and on the land. Now that they can't be counted, they're infinite in numbers, so you're starting to fill up your mind and space with this holographic imaging. The final step is to fill your mind entirely by including the spirit world, which is throughout space. Everywhere in the universe, there's these spirit entities. When you've accomplished that with your focus and your imagination, the mantra, the heart mantra, appears in your heart center. And it's a circle of letters, and it's established with the sound of light itself as compassion, which is the sound Kri. Now we're going to say this mantra. When you do, you think everybody in your mandala, because we all create these a little differently, because we all have different karma, friends, and so forth. Are okay. It doesn't matter if they're close relatives or lovers or pets. It doesn't matter if they're enemies or adversaries. It doesn't matter if they're in the spirit world or in the human world. They're all visualized as illusory bodies of light. And you add this sound and you say it with your voice. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Mi, Hum. 6 sounds. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Mi, Hum. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Mi, Hum. And all together. Om, Ma, Ni, Pe, Mi, Hum. 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 Om, Ma, Ni, Om. This is the deity here also. You can see that. Same as that one. Visualize yourself that way. And this mantra is circling in your heart. And the energy of it is power blazing through your body. And then out is healing energy to whoever needs it. Like the sun's energy. Just spontaneously goes everywhere. Om Mani Devi Om. 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 Kree, end with the Kree. Kree is the sound of your discerning that the natural way is better than the drama way. That's it. That's the Kree. And that's an energy field that you are creating for everyone. It exists in the natural world, but you're now creating it with your mind, from your heart mind. Now we're going to do the Omani Pemi Hum again, and we're going to add a sound to that, to those 6 syllables. Omani Pemi Hum. Omani Pemi Hum. Om Mani Padme 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 Hum. Tram. Okay, Tram. Tram. Now this sound is the sound of the energy field of equality. Everything, inside, outside, no matter where they are, animal, spirit, human, equal. And emotionally stable. That's a biggie. But just consider that that exists in nature and in your natural mind. Tram. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Tram. Now go back to the first one we did, the 3, which is everything is light. Om Mani Padme Hum. 3. 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 Now we're going to add the sound Om to the mantra. It starts with Om and ends with Om, which means everything is totally clear and understandable. Clear of what? Clear of judgment. And know how to use that.
Are these all the same color?
Yeah. We don't change the color from it. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om. 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 Now we're going to do the Tram, everything equal. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tram. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tram. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tram. And we're going to do everything is a light energy program. Om Mani Padme Hum Kri. 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 Now, we're going to add, and by the way, these 6 syllables are all the humans, animals, and spirits in the world free of pain and suffering as this Chenrezig character. Okay, you and everybody. But now we're applying that so it changes the outer world into these energy programs, because that's the way the universe already is. We're just catching up. So now we're going to do the Om Mani Padme Hum with the sound Ah attack. Om Mani Padme Hum Ah. 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 Now what is the Ah? It is the energy and the power of the energy of the universe, which is nature itself. Now we're going to add the final sound, Hum, which is all about interconnectedness. It's called the sound of everything is one sound, universe, universe. But this simply means everything is totally interconnected and there is no such thing as separation on any level. Om Mani Padme Hum, Hum, to Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Hum. Now look what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to blow it into this water in this cup. Tastes the same. The breath, the mana in Hawaiian, the energy of your breath with those sounds did something to that water element in that cup. So what's the logical question? What did it do? It changed it into medicine. And you can do that with anything. You know, the doctor gives you medicine. Boom. You can do that with each other. You know? Like today, there was this guy down at the park wanting to kill himself. He had a pipe running into his car. I walked over and said, "Hey, what's happening, Bob?" He said, "Oh, what's with the hose? Oh, I just want to kill myself." "Oh, have a nice day." Come on, you bring me home. He ain't gonna kill himself. I call the cops. Skillful means, you know. What do you think? Is it a one-man program? No, I'm helping you. But him with that green hose going to his window was just help. HELP. right? And I walked over, and he's honest. I know what happened. He ran out of gas. What a screw up. And at the beach, too. Anyway, this is how it works. Okay? So you are empowering yourself. You need support because the I wants to take over and run the program the way the I thinks it should be run. But it's a we program, and that's not the way it functions discordantly that way. Okay? Because it distorts what you're thinking, first of all. It distorts what you're doing. If you're having fun, it distorts your problem of having fun. That's not a good idea. You know, we didn't get to be civilized by doing it that way. This human race was run in harmony with nature up until this industrial age. Okay? Now we got some toys out here that are really, really unhealthy. Yeah. There's a toy that's really unhealthy. And it's creating disharmony in the whole world. But it's still only a toy. And so we're using it in this class for something else. It's not a plaything. That's a dangerous piece of equipment. It's totally an illusion that I am existing to somebody out there that sees me. And they believe that that two-dimensional figure called Tashi is real, when it's only a picture on a screen. Give me a break. And then they identify that with maybe who they are because I'm in blah, blah, blah. They're deepening the illusion of the reality of this world. And it doesn't work. You know? And happiness goes like this. Tide comes in, the tide goes out. Tide comes in, the tide goes out. One day happy, next day sad. But the most important factor is the well-being of us and the environment we live in. You cannot leave this Mother Earth out of the movie. And so when you project yourself as this Bodhisattva symbol, it only means that you want to become in harmony with the Mother Earth and the beings that inhabit Earth, from her core to the sky. And all those humans and all those animals and all those spirits are your buddies. This is the way we do it. This is called the buddy-buddy thing. Now, what did we do with that mantra? The first one, the Om, is applied to the celestial beings. The Ma is applied to the war and war god beings, which on our planet run the show. For instance, America's #1 program is war. Everything we do is for war. Okay? And the rest of the planet knows it. But that's very dangerous. Okay? So that's the Ma of the old Ma. Pei is us humans. No, excuse me. Old Ma Ni is us humans. The Pei is the animal. The Me is the discordant, we call dissatisfied spirit, deprived. They never can get what they want. And then the Home goes to the worst demonic individual who were full of hatred, anger, and rage, and abused themselves, others, in the environment. And now they're a demonic spirit. And they hate us. So we put them in the room. In fact, they're the best ones to befriend because they have so much power in their anger and hatred. It's the #1 most effective emotional program of the human condition. Guaranteed trouble coming. You get angry. I got angry today, didn't I? Because Abby and I were. But I'm not judging. We keep the unconditional program of love going. Yes, I experienced anger only because I have a habitual tendency from childhood, being a spoiled brat, to be angry. So it arises, I look at it, it goes away. Broken. Her side, that comes from practice. You deal with these things as they arise. If you got to deal with hateful demonic spirits, you got to deal with them as they arise. Because they're coming at you full force. And they would like to take you out. And they do. They cause really serious disease. That's what's wrong with the spirit. They cause disease in the human condition. Animals do. We do. We pass our diseases around. What makes you think spirits are any different? So you need to modify. When you say, "Oh, Mani Padme Hum," you're telling those spirits that you're interested in their well-being. You're not asking them for anything. Don't do that. Take care of their problems, then see what happens. Don't be attached to these practices. Do not be attached to the Lama. You can have a little devotion and respect for these Lama critters, because they know something. But keep attachment out of the body. Why? Because they breed humans. At least the desire and lust, which is our sales program for everything. It sells perfume. Now the next part of this practice is to take that basic compassion of that deity and go to this deity. Because it takes three deities to work, one with the body, get it functioning compassionately, one with the power of knowledge itself without being a collector, trying to get a doctorate or something. How to use your compassion. How to use it skillfully, like I did with that guy at the park. Okay? He was selling help. I walked over, he told me he needed help. I'm not going to do it. The spirits aren't going to help me. 911. That's all you can do. You need support in everything you do. So this next practice is how to use the compassion of your heart chakra as saying that all these animals, humans, and spirits are illusory bodies of light. And they're all wanting to be happy but mature like one's mother. Okay, like the best mother. Only we're using a guy symbol. Why? Because we need the most help. You brought us on the planet, but you let us run amok. That's not cool. And the women got to come out of the closet, the power. We're putting out the sign. This is a top-down situation. Political, religious, military, everybody, top-down. So the next one is take the same program and change it into a deity that is also a young, healthy male, handsome, smiley with three eyes, But this one's got a sword, a flaming sword, which simply means cutting through ignorance, stupidity, bewilderment, and most of all, delusion. We are so deluded, self-deluded, individual and social, it's unbelievable. the stuff that's going around and on the web and on the TV and on your screens. It's not delusions of that. Not true. And you want to know how to cut through that and how to put the truth in its place. So now we're going to do the mantra of Manjushri. Sit back straight. Now Chenrezig is in place. We got that program working. Say the word D. Letter D. Again. D. Now chant it. D. When you chant it, it's a Sanskrit word. It gives it a more heartfelt feeling than just saying. But D is the sound of light. And we're going to put this into a mantric form that takes the energy of light applied to your physical body and your mind, your mental process, so that they know intuitively what to do with it, how to connect to it, and make it useful, just like Google. So this is the Google, shamanistic Google program. And as you say this deity is holding with the thumb and ring finger the stem of a beautiful lotus that blooms by his left ear, which simply means that this is all applied entirely to the natural world and everybody in it. Just like a beautiful lotus comes out of the mud, up through the water, hits the sun and the air, and is beautiful. So that's what we apply that idea to everyone. And on that lotus is a text of the wisdom woman, which says everything that exists in form is empty. And everything that exists in voidness is form. So form is emptiness and emptiness is form. That's the ultimate dimension of your consciousness. Now we're going to say the mantra. Om, say Om, Om, Ah, Ah, Ra, Pa, Sa, T-S-A, Sa, Na, D, light, D, Soha. Say Soha. Soha means the energy of this is going outward and always increasing timely. That's Soha. Om Ara Pa Sa Na Di 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 Soha. Where did this mantra come from? It comes from you doing exactly the same thing that you did with that other symbol of the Chenrezig. You apply it to yourself so that you're a rainbow body of this symbol, of this Manjushri deity. And then you project it to your mother in front. She's facing you, saying, she's Manjushri, a big know-it-all. And then your father, friends, relatives, lovers, pets, everybody, enemies, everybody that doesn't like you, all Manjushri, everybody you have karma with, you dislike. Then again, apply it to 8 billion humans. So you're filling your mind with this, maybe filling an area the size of the earth. Then all the animals in the ocean and on the land, Manjushri. And then throughout space, Manjushri. Infinite number filling your mind. That's what causes the mantra. The vibration of that mental picture together with your intention to benefit them causes the heart mantra to appear. And it appears as these sounds around the letter D in your heart center, inside a sphere of light. Om Arapasanadi Soha. 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 Now this is all about understanding the clarity of your own natural mind and how to use it appropriately for everybody and the environment. But it's also useful for all drama stuff, like finding your car keys, finding a boyfriend or girlfriend, finding your way in the jungle. It has other applications. Primarily, it's all about wisdom and how to use it. Intuition, insight. But since we're in a drama world, we need that kind of support also. Om Arapasanadi Soha. 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 Now we'll just let that one ride with the Chenrezig Almighty Paying Home. Now we're going to move into the dimension of power. So the first one was all about altruistic compassion and how to apply it to the 6 kinds of suffering sentient beings. The second one is all about the energy program, how to apply this under any circumstance. And the third one is how to use the power of those 2 to be mature, to be what you really are, a Buddha. Buddha means mature human. Animals can't do this. Celestial spirits, gods and goddesses, they can't do this. They're stuck, arrogant. But we humans have choice. And so if we take this choice to its most powerful aspect, which means using the entire energy program of the planet, something like the cloud used in the computer world on this planet, something like that, then we need to produce a symbol that can subjugate. In other words, control nicely the animal, human, and spirit situation, which is out of control. There's no control there. There's no discipline. And so we're going to invent the deity of the Chenrezig and the Manjushri together And this deity is standing, not sitting. And it is wrathful, which means intimidating. Okay? It has an angry face, and it carries in its right hand this. This was a weapon, but now it's a symbol. And one of these. Okay, so what this deity is doing is taking the 5 elements, which has this 5, and those 5 sounds that we put with the Chenrezig, which are 5 energy fields of wisdom, and directing the energy to whatever situation needs healing. Okay? But with discipline. And then this is taking this and sticking it into the vibratory sound of it. And becoming a powerful deity. And it's right here in this picture, in the bottom right-hand corner. There's Manjushri in the left. There's Chenrezig, Manjushri, and over here is this black, nasty-looking guy dancing on his own corpse.
What's his name?
Vajrapani. Vajrapani. That means wrathful power. Okay? Mama for her children. Mama, my mother, was a wrathful deity. And if I came home from catechism class and told her that God made me, I experienced her wrath. You never come into this house and say that somebody else besides me created you. I created you, and that's it. So now we're going to be Vajrapani. But in male form. You can do this in the spirit form too.
The Mahakala is.
This is to our Mahakala. This is where the Mahakala came from. Before the Tibetans got a hold of it. Okay. Back straight. You are now Chenrezig and Manjushri, but you're in this standing form, dark color, angry face. You have the 5 jewel crown on your head. That's the Hum, Trum, Om, and what's the last?
Hri.
T.
Hri.
Hmm?
Hri.
Three. Okay, so those 5 sounds are on his head. Those are the 5 wisdom of the natural world. And he's got this Balandorji, and he's completely in a dome of fire, blazing like the sun. Okay? Now, this is the one you use to discipline your kids. And it goes like this. Om Vajrapani Om. Simple. Om Vajrapani Om. 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 Vajrapani Om. Om Vajrapani Om. Om Vajrapani Om. Om Vajrapani Om. Om Vajrapani Om. Do this. Do this. Make this gesture. K. Okay, now do it with what I just said. Om Vajrapani Om. K. This is a dispelling gesture. That means leave or obey, either way. Go away if you don't obey. Hey. Okay, so this is the gesture This is the heart, and this is your mind. Okay? And this is the energy of those body, speech, and mind doing this. It's called subjugating. It's what politicians love, military love. Subjugate, discipline, control. Like the mom for the kid. Nicely. Okay? Otherwise, I'm going to give you back to the Indian. Gotta keep it simple. Okay, so those three have to work together or you're not a Buddha. You won't mature. So we have this male aspect, which is those three. We have the female aspect, which is those three. Now, when the female aspect does it, it's the same, but female form. Okay? And Chenrezig becomes Tara, the compassion form. And the Manjushri becomes the consort of Manjushri, which is Saraswati, the goddess of vibration, music, sound. Everything vibrates, everything. All of them. Yeah. And when you get too much vibration, you get too much relaxing, and you're going to come back to vibrating. So peace is not the answer. You know, all of these other traditions, they want to get to peaceful, so you go to heaven, be the state of peace, tranquility. Now we're going to do that. So if you were Manjushri, or if you were Chenrezig, or went to this power figure of Vajrapani, and they all have many different variations, it's like apps on your cell phone. You do this.
What's the female version of Vajrapani?
Vajrapani is Chenrezig in action.
Okay.
He's a bad guy. Because, you know, there's humans that just don't listen. You know, he's my way or the highway kind of thing.
But they're female.
But the female is consort. All right? And she's Vajrayogini.
Mhm.
Okay.
She's called Vajrayogini. She's, okay? She's the ultimate spirit school. But Mom! Okay, so here's where we go to the. Remember I said, I, me, mine, vehicle, Hinayana, Hindu. The difference between Hindu and Buddhism is motivation. You go to the we, Mahayana. That's where you create the deity and everybody is the deity. Now we're going to go to the Tantrayana, Vajrayana. No mind. Remember, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So you did all the form stuff. You did all the mantras, you did everything right. Now you erase it. It goes like this. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum, Vajrapani Hum. Om Arapazanadis, Om Arapazanadis, Om Arapazanadis, Om Arapazanadis, Om Arapazanadis, Om Arapazanadis, Now what I did is I took all those deities, whatever form you put out there, Chenrezig, Manjushri, Vajrapani, you can do one or all three. They all work. But you take all that mind field that you just created with your focus and your imagination and visualize all those sentient beings coming into you as the central deity. Okay, so we'll just say Chenrezig. So now all the Chenrezigs you created are coming into you like rain into the water, into a lake, from every direction. When you can see yourself existing like in the sky of your mind, disappear your body, disappear that form into the mantra in your heart, the Om Mani Padme Hum. Then disappear the mantra and all the sounds of mantra that we've been using tonight into the sound Kri, which is the light of the mind. It's where everything comes from and where everything goes after. Then, no meditation. So you went out through your heart center with this mantra everywhere. Now you're going to come back into the heart center and disappear everything into voidness, into light. Like a supernova, obliterating jillions and jillions of galaxies and star systems and so forth. In your mind. No meditation. The trick now is to stay present. Don't let your thoughts take you away. Don't let your body take you away. It has a voice too. Just sit and be present. No meditation. Nothing to visualize. In fact, visualize nothing. Do not block your thoughts. Let them arise and do whatever. Don't go with them. Body sensations don't connect. There is no past. The present doesn't exist in timelessness. And the future hasn't happened yet. In this way, your mind is non-judgmental. No good, no bad, no high, no low, no center. Just present. You are practicing presence. A little of this goes a long, long way. And you end every practice in Tibetan Buddhism with this, we call it the accomplishment stage of all meditation practice. It's called the Great View, or Mahamudra, but it simply means to rest in a state of timeless awareness that the light of your mind is infinitely more powerful than your drama mind. In fact, it is called the wish-fulfilling jewel. And it's applied to everything you took refuge in tonight, with the refuge prayer, the altruistic motivation prayer, and the bodhisattva prayer, with the 6 disciplines. So now we're going to dedicate the merit of this practice tonight to everybody else. And at the bottom of your sheet, first in Sanskrit, Dewa di nirjuda, chaga chambo dru yerne, jowa chinking malupa, de sala koparsho, Sanjay kusum dembai jamladam, choni medu dembai jamladam, yendu miche dubai jamlaki, Shintar Goma Momon Chu Ar Sho. By this virtue of having realized Mahabhuja, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception in this state. By the blessings of the 3 bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, and by the truth of the Dharma itself being unchanging, and through the blessing of us, the Dharma Sangha being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. And I'm going to add that all the lamas on the planet have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity, and may all their wishes be fulfilled. And for us, may all beings be happy, free of suffering, established in the bliss nature of their mind, and develop emotional stability. Thank you very much.